Okay, if you can see here, these are stock BMW. Alright, so as you can see, both engine mounts are pretty much If you're new here, welcome to the AutoLust YouTube channel. If you're already an AutoLust family member, thank you. And what's swinging, gang? So in the last few videos, we've been really squeezing the power out of Sasha, and it's been going great. No running hot, no boost leaks, no popped hoses, no drivetrain malfunctions. Her tuning has been going great. I think she has about another 4, maybe 5 revisions before her tune is quote unquote complete. But I mean, we still have so much other stuff to do. But I want to make it to Euro Wars, which is January 17th and 18th at Orlando Speed World. So, I definitely want to join the grocery getter class, even though Sasha won't be at her maximum horsepower. We are shooting for close to 1,000 all-wheel horsepower. So if that can get us the goal and the grocery getter class, then that'll be nice, a nice trophy to have for right now before I do the last little custom mods to put the power all the way through the roof. But today we're doing something that's more detrimental to the support factor of getting her down the racetrack correctly, and they are the rest of her custom, what can we call those? I guess we can call them race mounts, because they're like a hybrid engine mount, and this is another world's first, so let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, if you can see here, these are stock BMW X5M, X6M engine mounts, F85, F86. You can see this comes from the 7th month, 19th day of 2017. So this probably comes off the 2018 car 9 times out of 10, which is the last model of my platform. So these are pretty good. But if you guys remember, or I don't think I showed you, a couple of years ago, I tried to do this same mod with a set of X550i or X650i mounts, and they are totally different. And the way I say they're totally different is they're shaped exactly the same. Dimensionally, they're exact, exact dimensions down to the millimeter. But inside is totally different, and I'm going to show you why. So on these mounts, it has a bigger amount or a larger amount of rubber up top. And also on the bottom, it has a smaller amount of hydraulic fluid. These mounts look like this because I cut the bottom open and also cut deep inside that diaphragm there. This is a metal mesh, then a rubber diaphragm, and then a plastic mesh behind it. And then it's just a big cavity behind that sits under this rubber mount. And when this rubber mount flexes, it forces the hydraulic fluid to compress, which dampens a lot of the vibrations and stuff like that. But we don't need that where we're going. So we're going to cut this mesh all the way out, both meshes, and I'm going to leave that ring for something to help the polyurethane grip onto, and we're going to fill that all the way to this rim here with 60A polyurethane. I was going to do 80, but I want it to be a daily driver as well. And you would think that 60A is soft, but compared to how soft this is and how soft liquid is, this 60A filled engine mount is going to be a ton more performance. And I'm also going to fill, as you can see, it's E6000 covering up these little holes because it's little channels that run down, I guess, to let air out or something like that. But this top cavity will also be filled up to the rim with 60A polyurethane, and that'll make these mounts extremely strong, and better on the racetrack for what we do when we do what we got to do. But the reason I say these are different than the X5 and X650i, and definitely 35i, but mainly 50i, is because the quantities of fluid it takes for both, you know, and I'm going to show you exactly what the 50i takes here. So as you can see, the X650i takes 6.7 ounces on the top and 5 ounces on the bottom of the mount. These take 4 ounces on the top and 8 ounces on the bottom. So it's a bigger cavity on the bottom and a smaller cavity on the top. And that means that this rubber is actually a bigger piece of rubber on top, and the bottom actually has more room for hydraulic fluid, and the hydraulic fluid is different. But yeah, let's get these cut open so we can see exactly what it looks like in there and get these mounts filled. And this is what I'm going to be using to cut it open. You know, this is my knockoff Dremel, but it's extremely powerful, and I have the pencil fitting on the end of it for precision. And I'm also going to be using this little bit. You guys won't believe me how expensive this carbide titanium coated bit was if I told you. And it's made by Dremel. This little thing is extremely expensive, but it's extremely sharp. I was actually using this to cut the front apron on Sasha for her intercooler hoses, but it was just taking too much time because it's too small, but it was cutting through that thick metal. So this should make cake work of this. So let's see exactly how easy it cuts through. Hopefully it's like butter. All right, so I did find out it's a lot easier to just cut the metal cage off first and then remove the rubber diaphragm, because that rubber smoke is stink, and I'm sure it's not good for you to be breathing it either. So once that it comes out in one piece, and here you can see more. Well, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. I just want to get the this plastic cut. So that plastic should be a lot easier to cut now since the metal waffle frame is off. These aren't the most desirable gloves for this situation, but I mean, it's better than nothing. That's for sure.
The diaphragm serves two main functions: to separate the internal fluid chambers and to allow for the controlled movement of hydraulic fluid for optimized vibration dampening.
All right, so we have that out. So this is pretty much how it sits in the hydraulic fuel chamber. It's this metal one, this metal waffle, then the diaphragm, and then this thick plastic waffle, and it sandwiches it like that. So I'm gonna rinse this cavity completely out so you guys can see what it looks like. I also want to clean it up a little. I might just leave it. That's more for the polyurethane to grab onto, as long as it's nice and open like that. And it's crazy because you can actually see the top of the stud right down there. That's this stud here, right through the middle. So yeah, that just more proof that this rubber here is sitting directly on top of the hydraulic fluid. Okay, so now that I have it clean, you can see that it's like, you can hear it actually. Hold on, let me see if I can let you hear that. Well, if you can really, hear it, you see it's nothing but, rubber dust. You can hear it squeaking, meaning it's pretty much, that's about as clean as it's gonna get. I just washed it out with Dawn dish detergent, an old toothbrush, and I'm gonna still rinse it out with isopropyl just to make sure. But that's what it looks like on the bottom side of your engine mount. And as you can see right there in the middle, that's the bottom of this stud. And at first I thought this was just a diaphragm, with the mount on top of this. So I tried to cut this out, but this is the actual rubber mount, because if you look at that door right there I told you about, it looks like it's a door that goes down behind the diaphragm, but that is actually a fill port where they build this and then fill it with hydraulic fluid, and it runs down this little corridor and enters here. So that's a little roadway for that. But all of that will help the polyurethane stay in place. All of those divots down there and all of these jagged edges, the cage all the way around. And when it comes out here and sticks to this side and sets, this actually has to demold. This rubber actually has to demold from this plastic before the poly can slip. So it's not going anywhere. And of course, when you fill it from this side, it isn't going anywhere because it has this cage that's locking it on anyway. So this is going to be a very, very solid mount. Even though it's only 60A poly, it'd be 200 times as strong as, just this soft factory, because this is how soft the factory rubber is. I mean, it isn't a thick part of it like this part is, but you can see that it's not, I can put my nail in it. So the durometer is not that high. This has to be like 40A, 50 or something like that, 35, who knows. But the mount was definitely depending on, the heavy type of hydraulic fluid that was in it. So I'm going to do the other one off camera because it was aggravating as it was to do this one.
A few moments later.
All right, so as you can see, both engine mounts are pretty much gutted all the way to, you can see the stud directly in the center. You can see the stud for where it mounts. So, you might think, honestly, the polyurethane doesn't need anything to keep it in here. Long as the rubber is clean, it'll adhere. And once you let it, actually cure, it's not going anywhere. But this divot, as you can see how deep that is, it's almost a whole digit on the finger all the way around. So that's a shelf that's gonna, stop any down motion once this, goes up and down, once the weight of the engine goes on it. So it's not going anywhere regardless, and if you're wondering why it was so much stuff in here for the hydraulic fluid, it's because soon as the pressure of the engine sits on these mounts, it's already pre-charged, meaning this hydraulic fluid is already under pressure, tremendous pressure. So, I mean, once you get on the gas and, the engine torques to the side that it torques to, that's putting a lot of weight on that, on the top of that engine mount. And so it doesn't blow out from extreme pressure. It needs that type of, it's kind of like a flat brake hose, how it has the Teflon inner layer, then stainless steel braiding, and then the outer layer. But this one has a super thick plastic layer. As you can see, it's blue, and then a thinner metal layer, as well as the diaphragm in the middle. So these things were built stout. They were built pretty stout. I have the polyurethane on order, so it should be here Monday, like I said earlier. and I'll get these things filled. I also have the transmission mount as well, or the transfer case mount, because the mount sits on the transfer case, not the transmission. But the transfer case is part of the transmission in my car. So, transfer case, transmission mount together. So I'm going to fill that also with 60A polyurethane, and that's a hell of a lot easier to fill, because it's the shape of it, and it's nothing you got to cut out. And a good thing about the transmission mount and the engine mounts versus the trouble I had with the rear diff mounts that swelled up once it was done curing, it's nothing for the. I mean, it doesn't matter how much the polyurethane could swell. It's not gonna, deform this case in any shape, way, or form. And that's exactly the same way my let me lift this camera up. And that's the exact same way that my transmission mount is made too. It's no way to deform it, because it looks like it's all rubber, but it's a metal casing around the whole transmission mount. So that won't deform as well. And I'm not using the 98 anyways, which swells up for some reason. I'm using the 68 to get more drivability. I do want this to be a, daily, not daily driver, but a street strip car, as comfortable as it's gonna get. But having 60A solid 60A transmission and engine mounts, and 80A solid diff mounts, you're gonna feel it, but it's not gonna be as bad as 80A all the way around, or 90A, or actual aluminum solid mounts. You will get some type of comfort still in there, as I have active front shocks and active rear bags. But that's the suspension. That's not the drivetrain. The drivetrain is going straight to the chassis and into the car, so the suspension won't help it as much anyways, no matter what type of suspension I had. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get Sasha finished tuning before Euro Wars, because I would really love to go to Euro Wars. Even if my tune is just a high-powered 93 tune, it'd be nice to see if I could, win that class with just the 93. But I'm waiting on some special things between me and some of my race buddies to get done, and then I'll be putting those on and retuning again. And I might be tuning that time with race gas, so it'll make a lot more power and a lot more flow. Then, she'll definitely be a potent animal. But even as she stands now, she's not going to be anything to play with. So if you go to Euro Wars, I'm going to let you guys know if I'm going to make it there or not. But if you go to Euro Wars, I should be there. At least I want to be there, so AutoLust out.